In the mid-2000s, the gaming industry had seen its fair share of racing games, but none has truly captured the attention of the racing community. That all changed when Blackbox decided to take a step, abandon the safe route, and let you be the fucking worst. Thus, Need for Speed Most Wanted was born, a game that has since been a classic and is still considered by many to be the best racing game ever made. Although we won't be reviewing Most Wanted today, it's worth noting that Manly Reviews made the best review of it, which remains unmatched to this day. Instead, we'll take a step back and explore what Most Wanted could have been if the developers took a different approach. This ISO is a later version of the PS2 build, so let's get this thing going. Logging into the game, we can already see a different loading screen, and it's expected because it's a beta. The intro cutscene's pretty much the same, besides one little thing, and that is the EA logo at the bottom left. Guess old habits never change, huh? Gotta pay to remove that logo, innit? Alright, the artwork here on the main screen's a bit different as well, but pressing continue greets us with Raj's introduction cutscene that we're all familiar with.
You're getting to something deeper than racing, into something more than hooking up a slamming car. You're stepping up to take on the Blacklist, and to do that, to get a crack at one of us, you gotta get noticed. You gotta go beyond smoking the competition. You gotta build a rap. You gotta become notorious to become the most wanted. Now if you think you got what it takes, then prove it. I'll be waiting.
But this is where things start to get interesting. We can see an entirely different area where we get to choose among 4 cars, and they are the M3 GTR and another E46 M3 GTR just without the livery, a red and a blue RX-8 which looks really cool. This is an overview of the beta menu where we have Carrier, Quick Race, Car Manager, Profile Manager and Options. Taking a look at the settings, and in the gameplay section, there's a weird option called the jump camera. Besides that, everything made into the main game with replaced text. The control section's pretty weird too, because only the first layout's visible. The rest of them works, but texts are missing. Then we have the basic bitch credit section. Same old, nothing fancy over here. Moving into the carrier section, we have multiple options. Well, honestly, too many for my taste. Here we have free roam, Rapsheet, car select, Blacklist, and a different save icon. Tapping into Blacklist, we have race events, milestone events, and a rival tab, which wasn't in the main game. Getting into the rivals section shows us a different name next to Ming's picture, which is Akira Washid. Washid? It's clearly an O, not a D. It's Akira Washio. Also, a role under the name called the Drag Specialist. This role mechanic was missing in the main game. Also, weirdly enough, we see another name at the bottom right of the screen, which is Jimmy Mango. Moving on to the rival event, which used to give us a peek at our progression until our next rival. Milestone shows the same events but doesn't work when you press on it. Race events work, but you have to do it serially or else it doesn't work. Let's say you can't do the second one before completing the first one. Rapsheet gives us ranking, unserved infractions, and a cost to save tab. Surprisingly, it has the same icons as race events, milestones, and a rival tab. But again, nothing works if you press on it. Reputation was most likely going to be a thing, which didn't happen. Basically, it's an overview kind of thing. It's also interesting to see how many events you had to complete for one rival. 40 races and 15 milestone events for a rival seems quite lengthy. That got adjusted. But now let's select a car and start doing beta races. Starting it off with the iconic M3 GTR. and heading to the first 2-booth race. We get our first look at the beta tutorial cutscene, where texts were very loud and out of place, but more or less the same.
You may be fast, but you ain't gonna beat my times through the toll booth chain. But be warned, the cops are always hanging around the pen, so beating my time ain't worth nothing if you get busted.
The race starts with heat level 3, and notice how we don't have the perfect launch mechanic? Yeah, that's missing throughout the entire build. Another really cool thing that I noticed was the barrier for the 2-booth used to rise for us, which didn't make into the main game. And I wonder why. Is it just me, or are you noticing that the M3 GTR is crying in low RPMs? Yeah. Not only does it sound sluggish, but also the handling's quite delayed, and to put it into words, it's not so responsive. Seen a pursuit breaker near me, so I wanted to see if that worked as intended. The logo's missing, but I don't know what just happened here, but we move. Also, for some reason, we have access to unhealthy amount of speed breaker and nitros on beta. Did you notice the prison's closed off on this build? Guessing they intentionally did that, knowing how shitty the jump is there. They just didn't want to risk it, I guess. Anyways, first encounter with the police. And oddly enough, level 1 cops spawned for heat level 3. But they are insanely heavy. There's a different cop wreck logo without the bounty. Understandable, because it's a beta and they didn't want to complicate things. Also, finishing the race gives us a different Polaroid image and it's pretty neat. I like it. After hitting continue, we get sent to a pursuit. As I was roaming around, I saw the pursuit breaker in the gas station was in a different placement. And it's pretty odd to see it vertically like that. Not only does it look odd, but it's quite difficult to hit it. Also, fun fact, the car wash has actual car washing foams, brushes, pads, and whatnot. Now that is something really cool, which is missing from the main game. But hey, survived the pursuit and it gave us an overview of the chaos we did. Is it just me, or there's this note on the top right that says pick up, dry clean and get a dozen of donuts? Hopping onto the next race. Hold on, I got a better idea. How about we swap cars and give you all a different experience? Right, so after the sprint race we go and the first thing we see is the beta HUD and also heat level 4.
What the hell?
I'm feeling the blue M3 this time. And surprisingly enough, it spawned the right heat level 4 cops. But continuing with this race, I haven't spotted anything weird. But at the end, the race takes a weird route, which didn't seem familiar to any of the races we had in the main game. I have seen that cop coming from a mile away and I had a feeling something historic's about to happen. Thought my game crashed there for a second, but surprisingly we made it. We again got sent into a pursuit and now we are about to witness how aggressive the cops are. Like this. And that. We also got to witness the unfinished map near the bus station route along with the industrial part. Busted scenes aren't blurred out for some reason. And speaking of busty scenes, we have the beta busted HUD as well. But again, we did survive there for 1:30. Moving on to the last race with the blue RX-8, we are against Rosh this time. We'll get the basic drag introduction, but all the introductions are 2 pages for some reason. But hey, I'm not complaining. And we'll get a glimpse of the beta camera angle. Drag sadly is still missing the perfect launch mechanic.
We've reported a vehicle moving at a high rate of speed.
Let's get containment on this guy and force him into a roadblock.
Upon completing the drag, we get the E3 cutscene that we saw, but now with the RX-8 instead of the M3 GTR that we are so used to seeing. So hey, that's something new for y'all.
Suspect bearing down on your 20 hard and fast.
But that brings us to another pursuit that we have to survive for another 2 minutes. But this time with Heat 5 and the entire city after us. But for some reason we have the Heat 2 cops spawned for Heat 5. Shit, spoke too soon. We have rhinos along with cops from Heat 1 to Heat 4. Also spotted another pursuit breaker right here with an odd placement. And I have no clue how I just survived that. These cops are insanely heavy and combined with the shitty handling makes it so hard.
Charlie 14, request an update on your situation.
Unit down, some more cover. We see you now, 2 down here. This is 5-1 Cross. I had enough. Do whatever it takes to get me that car. I want to rip it apart.
But surviving that prompts us with the last cutscene that has Cross in it. And finally it gives us a congrats screen totaling everything we did, along with a bonus cheat code for the main game. But that's pretty much it for this episode of Need for Speed Most Wanted beta content. On the next episode, we'll take a look at the car customization, dive deep into the facts and glitches, and also we'll be taking a look at the missing content like split screen, and we'll be mech testing the existing gameplay mechanics. Oh, and there's a ton of races with hidden names, so we'll take a look at that as well. And lastly, can we take a customized car into a beta race? Tune into the next video to figure it out. Make sure to subscribe and like the video because a lot of time and effort goes into making these videos. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and this is Gazi enlightening your life with most wanted extra information that you thought you never needed.